up? What up? Middle of the night. We're gonna try to get through this pretty quick. We watched they had a little debate and a little battle, little battle rap between a couple of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we're gonna run through point by point, not take up everybody's time because I know like half the country was up half the night watching this thing, and as expected, it wasn't quite as satisfying as you would like. We got cats all over the place here, but
And they're safe, by the way.
yeah, they are safe. Yeah, no one's gonna stick them in a submarine sandwich or anything like that, or hoagie or whatever. But we're in North Carolina, not Ohio. So, anyways, the only thing I'm gonna add that isn't just straight up coverage of it is beforehand I did kind of what each person needs to do to kind of like win. And, it's not as though it's going to win the presidency. Like, really, what you're looking at is a tiny little sliver of people that can be swayed either way based on what's said tonight. So, anyways, the way I saw it was in order for Trump to win, I thought he needed to appear presidential, focus on she made it this way, focus on the fact that everything bad is whose fault it's in office, and show that he's not the caricature they make him out to be.
Yeah.
So for those people who maybe hated him at the beginning, they're independents or they're indifferent or whatever, and they kind of like revisit Trump, he needed to not be that caricature that they've seen like in fucking Saturday morning comic strips and shit.
Yeah.
And he needed to share his struggle, meaning the legal one, getting shot, all of that stuff, in a way that wasn't as a victim, but just like, I'm fighting for it. But anyways, what she needed to do to win is I thought she needed to address the negative that is happening now and convincingly claim that she's been working on it. And that now she'll have the ability to change things now that she's kind of in the driver's seat. She needs to show confidence and make him the villain and, show that she's like the strong people's champ is basically it.
Yeah.
And on that first thing with Trump, I'll give my score now. I gave him a 7 out of 10. I gave her a 6.5 to 7 out of 10. And the only reason I dropped it from a 7 to a 6.5 at the last second after I told you it was like a tie is because that people's champ part stuck out to me. And I think a lot of people that would have felt good about her would notice the disingenuous saccharine, the way she was speaking and everything.
Yeah,
it was just like
I have a dream thing.
Yeah, the fake emotion, the fake inflection, the stuff that the acting coaches and stuff taught her this week or the last 3 weeks. So the first thing they hit on was the economy, and I thought like she came out bad at first. Like I thought this was what it's going.
Our screen's supposed to look like that.
What do you mean?
The phone. You see it?
Yeah, that's just to show you that the phone is
anyway,
level.
Sorry guys, that just looks weird to me.
She was smirking during this topic, and I felt like that was going to be right out the gate. That was going to be people are going to take that offensively.
Yeah,
because they're struggling financially, and she went right at attacking his plans. I wondered if people were going to think that what she was saying was true because it really had no basis. And I noticed that he had low energy, but he was very serious. He was very straightforward and serious. And he was good with painting fear.
Yeah.
Like, usually we hate it when people do that.
Sometimes it's necessary. It really is.
It is. Like, if you do this, almost like a scared straight.
Yeah, like, this is what's going to happen.
And he was good at it, where I felt like, okay, this guy's describing doomsday, but he's not doing it for effect. He seems indifferent to it. Like, well, this is...
Yeah, this is what'll happen.
Yeah, it's already happening.
Mm-hmm.
But right away, they brought up our favorite topic that's bullshit. Project 2025, within 45 seconds.
Right off rip. Just boom! Project 2025.
Now, what did you... I thought he... did a good job of a rebuttal, convincing that he doesn't really.
Yeah, his response to that was all right to me. He said what he's said over and over and over and over and over, and that's been printed too. And as he said, she knows that, you know that to the people who are running the thing.
And
He
since
has
when
nothing to
does
do with
Trump
it.
ever keep secrets? Everybody's problem with him is that he says, straight up tells you to your face, I'm going to do this horrible thing, supposedly.
Right.
Like that's their complaint about him, is that he's cocky about it.
Yeah.
Like, here's what I'm doing, whether you like it or not.
Read it. He has nothing to do with it.
He's like, I'm going to grab this project by the pussy and just...
Oh, you fucked us now.
No, YouTube will like that because it'll sound like I'm dissing Trump. I mean, I thought that, he did a good bounce back on that, had some good, closing lines. I don't know where this came from. I made a note in this part that he said like form sentences. It had something to do with Biden, like the things he can't do or something, like form sentences.
Oh, I don't remember.
It was the first thing that actually made me laugh.
I don't know.
I thought it was great.
Look at it.
ABC stayed on the economy. Like, they went to the tariffs.
They did. Yeah, they did. And I think that was actually addressed well on his part, the way he explained it.
He was very aggressive about it.
He was very aggressive about it. It's an aggressive topic. It needs to be, because people are dumb to it. They don't understand, and they will believe anything. So what he did there, I think, was good. And
what she did was spin and say he sold us out to China. My thing I put here in brackets on my notes was, does anyone believe that? Does anyone actually think that Trump would sell us out to China? Even his biggest haters. China.
The sad part is that, yes, I do think that.
Really?
I think that they will. I'm telling you.
I mean,
I don't have faith.
They criticize him for basically hating China. Not that they like China, but it's basically just another example of him just hating someone.
That's what people that don't like Trump. That is what they do. They just, today they're criticizing him for this thing that they actually like, or that they do, and tomorrow they like it, and then it's
whatever.
I can't even
basically
explain
it's
it.
Trump
There's
derangement
no
syndrome.
it,
It's
but,
not logic, is what you're saying.
There's nothing.
That's basically what you're saying. Is there's no logic.
It's idiocy, and I don't.
I mean, just even me, without the first thing my brain did was go to 50 instances of him saying China the way he said it tonight.
Yeah.
And basically say that the China virus and all these things he said, and I'm just like, she thinks that he sold us out to them. That has to ring false.
It's a pretty heavy accusation.
And I mean, obviously it's a lot
just sling out
deeper and complicated, more of a topic, but I just felt like that was the first thing that she really threw out there, besides the Project 2025 thing, that people would just be like, what? Sold us out to China, but whatever. Their next thing was Smishmortion was the next.
Oh, yeah. The A word.
Yeah, the A word. That's way too important to people for what I consider an almost non-issue. But anyways, I thought he explained well, because people are stupid. I don't know how they get so emotional about this that you could sit there. I explained to somebody, and I put some of it in the last video, that I explained exactly what it meant when Roe v. Wade went to the States and how that's better.
Yeah.
Then you don't have one tyrant that's telling you what you can or can't do. You at least have 50 choices. So he explained that, and he explained why it was... I thought he did good with that. But then she went into the fucking prison for life, the Trump abortion bans that are in different states.
Yeah, I don't know what these Trump abortion
Oh, it'd be cool if it was Trump abortion banned.
Are
like an actual band.
Oh my god! I don't know what these Trump abortion bans are.
I don't think they're real.
I don't think they exist. If they do, I would love to see proof of it, and please by all means show me. I don't know what they are or where they are or whatever this life sentence.
It's like they say that we fearmonger or something, but I've never heard of this. I mean, he cleared up what the exceptions are among all conservatives, basically.
Right.
Which I don't know how people feel about that. Because I know they're going to be like, there shouldn't even be a conversation about exceptions. It should just be,
Well, I mean that just goes into what you think, and that is another reason why it is good that it is with the states and not with the federal government,
Oh,
because
that's why. I see why I made a note about that now. Sorry.
but
I made a note about that because okay, he did that first before she spoke. He went into the exceptions thing a bit.
yeah,
She went into this like miscarriage visuals and blood and incest and all this overly emotional, like honestly fake emotion shit.
yeah.
Like, like
And the
community
incest thing
theater.
could happen, yeah. A lot of things can happen.
But he had already
But he'd
cleared
already
up
had
that
cleared
he
that
didn't
up.
like
Yeah,
incest,
that he started, like we're not going to force somebody that's a victim of that to carry the baby to term.
It made him overthinking it. I'm just always like, it's just optics.
Or whatever the state votes on, whatever that particular state votes on. But that's what he, wanted the exceptions to be. But
yeah, and
yeah,
I felt like it was good that, okay, if she went way out of her way painting this horrible picture, which we talked about in the kitchen, didn't make any sense anyway. Go back and play it. Like she screwed it up. She tried to memorize something and the story didn't make any sense.
Yeah,
that horrible literally bloody story she's done.
The wrong way.
Yeah, she tossed that salad the wrong way.
Oh, Jesus.
Salad. But yeah, so like what I'm saying about that basically is that because he cleared that up first and told his or slash all the conservatives beliefs on that, it made it sound even faker or more fake when she was giving that. I don't know, like it's not fake, just over the top. Like I'm trying to.
It was just trying to paint.
Because it's like, yeah, why are you saying? It showed me that it was like memorized.
I mean,
because why would you even go to those instances of being a horrific possibility when he already said, no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
those people are fine.
They're
they can
not
get their thing
trying
done.
to deny them medical care. I mean that, and like I said when we were talking earlier, if that were the case and something crazy like that was happening and you had a doctor refusing to treat you, it would be because the doctor is crazy and they're just a bad doctor.
Yeah.
Not because of anything to do with any of this.
I mean, but blame Trump though.
Aware of, but yeah.
I mean, the doctor probably get away with it if he just said like Trump.
Yeah, probably. But
and then there's the IVF thing and the bullshit, and he did good rebutting that. Just straight up saying like, no, of course I'm. The next thing,
absolutely no sense.
They went into the border.
A lot.
But
too much.
Shit.
I mean,
like right away. Now, you guys cover your pointy little ears.
Oh, jeez.
He went, well, see, he kind of messed up because it's allegedly cats, not dogs. But he immediately went into, they're eating dogs. Like, I don't know if it was immediate, but it was the first thing I wrote down.
It was pretty quick.
Nobody told him that there was a possibility that might not be true, so don't say it.
I don't know what the hell happened.
But then I saw some people online who were actually from that area who said, no, it's geese. Yeah.
I mean, right now, the world doesn't really know for sure what's going on with that. That just definitely was a blunder for him. He shouldn't have said it. Was
and
stupid.
I mean, people say like, "Oh, it's like a racist trope, and it's because he's a racist to this, that, and the other." And I'm just kind of like, listen. He's talked about the people that have like come over and raped people, killed people, robbed them, this, that, and the other. Yeah. It's kind of like this thing is just. He's saying it because of the news story today. In other words, he's saying it's bad that they're coming in.
Yeah, they're coming in, and these are things that they could be doing, and now we have this other one. It's like, okay.
But it led up to her doing a good job of painting him as a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, absolutely.
She's talked about like windmills giving cancer.
Right into that full force, like a bull in a china shop.
Because he was too focused going on and on about how his rallies have good turnouts.
Yeah, that really, the digs at him were getting to him too much.
If you mentioned his money, his rallies, like just personal shit where his ego is involved.
Yeah, and he's an avid supporter of his group, his base. Like he fights for us pretty hard. So it's like,
oh, that's a good way to put it. It ain't just about his own ego. He's
not,
like, yo,
I mean,
you're
it
insulting
is
my
ego
people.
for sure, but it is. It's about, he defends us pretty hard because he wouldn't be, we're kind of hand in hand there,
But see, this is the part where she kind of seemed to get a little leverage over him because she also went into like all the Republicans that back her,
Yeah, she
which
did go
are
down a big list.
I thought he did good with, coming back later and saying like I fired these people, you don't fire anybody,
Yeah.
but she somehow flipped it into, when they're talking about things going to court, like him being
Oh
prosecuted, blah blah
yeah. I'm
blah.
surprised that didn't get brought up sooner than that.
Now he did actually go hard, saying like, "Yo, these cases, they're fake, blah blah blah," and it's like
And
you,
he's winning them.
yeah, and you weaponize the court against me.
Yeah.
And the reason I said like he still was coming off as just kind of like crotchety, like irritated.
Yeah.
Maybe his temperament wasn't what people want it to be. I keep seeing that word.
Yeah.
And but the thing is I think he may connect with some independents with the way he defended himself there because
Yeah.
they don't trust the government.
And they've seen, if any of them were supporting RFK, they've seen that,
That's a
happen
good point.
to him and his family for how long now? Lawfare has been a
Oh,
major
yeah,
part
bet.
of his life. So
I mean, they did worse than lawfare.
oh, I know, obviously, but
Not saying someone might not have deserved it. No, it's fine. But
Oh,
no, like, no. But I'm just saying that I think that the people that are watching, I mean, yeah, they're kind of irritated with the way he's coming across and stuff like that, and maybe buying her crap. But they're like, wait a minute. Maybe it is a weird coincidence that that just all the stuff keeps coming down on this guy. He keeps beating it. He keeps beating it. He keeps beating the system that's against him. So it's like these are people, the ones in the middle. Some of them are people who are just anti-government in general. They're
Yeah.
almost like anarchists. They're just like really far out there libertarians.
Mhm.
And maybe they're like, wait a minute, even if he's guilty of some of this stuff, a bunch of these cases have to be made up just by mathematical
Yeah.
probability. But anyways, because I say anyways because then he just crushed it with took a bullet to the head
Yeah, finally.
by you guys saying things like I'm a threat to democracy.
Mhm.
And that might click, but I felt like he almost maybe should have stayed with that more.
I wish he would have stayed with it a little bit more, just because, up to that point, like, yeah, he'd had some good moments, but he'd also had a lot of moments that I was pretty disappointed just because we know how he actually is.
Right. Like,
so I was just kind of like, oh, God, man, I know what you're getting at, but just answer the question, like,
it was a weird Trump tonight. I was surprised they didn't say it on PV.
Yeah, it
was.
Like, I know. I was surprised too. Actually,
at the Trump rallies, he's really loose. He's confident, but he's loose.
Sharp though. Yeah. So it's.
And he wasn't the old Trump that was
No.
angry and yelling.
He was kind of like in the middle a little bit.
He was like ornery
He
Trump.
was a little fed up. Like the digs got to him a little.
It's almost like someone said to him before it.
Yeah, like be serious.
Or even like I don't know, like something from the network or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or he knew about a headphone or about the notes that you pointed out that she kept taking.
Can I just point that out? That I seriously, I don't know why.
You weren't allowed to have notes. I don't know if you're allowed to take notes.
So I'm going to have to look that up. Because
I don't think you're supposed to have anything.
I don't think you're supposed to have anything out there. And now I'm not 100% sure, but I will look it up. But I know you weren't supposed to have notes. So I don't think you were supposed to be able to take notes while they were speaking.
But she said that he kept passing love notes back and forth between him and Kim Jong-un.
Oh my God.
He just said notes and that jumped
out.
But so there was some
she
funny...
had a pen in her hand. I mean, you could see it multiple times and see her writing. She wasn't hiding.
That's pretty. I mean, honestly, if that was a rule, that's pretty damn blatant and effed up.
Like, I have to look that up and see if that was a rule. But I mean, they had that whole muted mic rule, and obviously they didn't follow that either. So. Which wasn't a horrible thing, So
no, because he got to actually defend himself against some serious lies.
That wasn't bad.
Right after the bullet to the head thing, they actually came at her about her flip flopping. Like, why do you change all your issues and everything? And somehow she turned that into calling out Trump's wealth. Like, these people weren't just given $400 million. and left the topic completely, which was almost masterful, like honestly,
Yeah,
because
she kind of dipped her toe into the how. Oh, I'm gonna go down
yeah,
to
she
every
went into
single point,
fracking only,
fracking for like a
which
minute.
is one she should have
And
stayed
it's
away
like,
from.
man, guys, there's so many videos of you saying that
All
you
right.
were gonna ban it,
But she has
100%.
that one video where she was saying that Biden wouldn't do it. So, like, basically,
Yeah,
kind
they're
of
just
by
passing the
proxy,
buck.
she's not
Blame
doing it.
it, blame it, blame it.
So she left the topic completely, pretty quick. He couldn't resist the personal attack.
Yeah,
So you had to go in with, no, it wasn't $400 million. It was a small fraction of that. And let
yeah.
me tell you about, and he went on
He
and on.
wrapped
But,
that one up a little quicker than the other stuff, though. At
well, he hit her
least,
with the I'm talking.
yeah.
And I don't know. I wrote down LOL question mark next to it. Like, are people gonna laugh at this, or are they gonna be bothered by it because she's a woman? And
Well, they better not be bothered by
I
it
just saw a lot of people talking about
because
like the
she's a
optics are
woman.
bad that she's a
Because
woman, a
here
woman of
we go with
color.
this bullshit, well, she's a woman
I'm
and she's
talking.
running. Yeah, I mean, fuck you. Like, she's a woman, she's talking, she's, running for president, blah, blah, blah. You want to be on stage with the man that's running for president. Everybody's equal, right? We're all different, but we're all equal. And well,
I
then
guess so.
you guys can't be pissed off that, I mean, it doesn't matter if she's a woman or a fucking dog. If it barks when he's fucking talking and he says shut up, then
Yeah.
don't interrupt me.
I mean, he went into Minneapolis, which I thought was important. I don't know how that'll hit home with people. I don't know if they're whatever they call it, memory hole or whatever, like even realizes how bad it was.
I mean that, and the funny thing about that too, with that whole GoFundMe that she did to release the people who did all of that. That site is still up and active. Go look.
So you can still give money.
I would assume
I can go give money to the people.
I don't know where it would go. But I mean, maybe the site is still active, so I don't know if you can still donate or not, but it is active.
See, we talked about this part because he was throwing off his game a little bit. He brought up the price, the gas prices and stuff. He rambled a bit, paused, then they went into peaceful transfer.
Oh, yeah.
And he took it right to the border. You and I know what he's trying to say here. He's basically saying the January 6th grandmother who is just there holding a flag is in prison.
Well, we've got these people coming over here pouring in by millions that are real criminals.
Get away with everything. Yeah. But it's just like, it seemed like he was not only trying to get away from the question, but he was being offensive again.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go back to this issue.
It was like a deflection, that is what they're going to say. And I was pissed. I was pissed off. I was yelling at him.
Yeah, she was yelling like,
you're fucking serious, dude. What are you doing? What are you doing?
He did do a good job of calling out the fact that it was Nancy Pelosi's responsibility.
I was happy he did that, yes.
I know some people will take it as he's always like, okay, well, I lost the election, but I didn't lose the election. They cheated. Or like the January 6th thing did happen, but it wasn't my fault. It was Nancy Pelosi's. And like, it seems like he just won't take an L. But in all honesty, I know a lot of people saw that video.
Take a lie is what he won't take. He doesn't want He doesn't want to lie. That he doesn't want the lies, and he can't handle that. And I understand it because it drives me insane.
Well, she did good. Well, she tried the whole like he incited a mob. Sounded convincing a bit if you're not schooled in the whole situation. She brought up fucking Charlottesville.
Oh, which I'm really glad that he pointed out even to what's his name? Why do I keep forgetting his name? David,
he's a talking head.
But yeah, whatever his name is.
Or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, even you covered it, right? It's debunked, blah, blah, blah. So it's, and it has been.
But it seemed like she did good with the let's not go back.
Yeah.
Like she painted a picture, like a prosecuting attorney does.
Picture, and with some lies too. She said that police died on January 6th.
Yeah, nobody died on January 6th.
No cops died on January 6th.
What's her name? Babbitt.
Ashley Babbitt died.
And he called that out, she got the last word on that and said the police died.
Yeah, so they were injured
let's
and
not
some
go back.
died. Like what?
So she's painting a picture of man under Trump. It's like he's such a sore loser that police are getting killed, and she said he defunds the police, which was fucking insane.
I don't know any police forces that I've seen that back there.
No,
that back
God,
all.
no. I don't know if there's a cop alive. Like,
seriously. I don't know if there is either. I've
I
seen
don't know.
tons
Maybe
of
some
them
relative of Willie Brown.
praise the conservative media.
Oh, but then
So
he saved himself here. I thought he was coming off as like mean, ornery, like basically like they're painting him that way, you know. But then he was like, "Well, let's go to DC and sign a bill.
oh
Get him
yeah,
out of bed."
that was gold. That was gold.
He said something else, dude. He's like, "Get him out of bed.
Yeah,
Let's go
just
sign this bill."
tell Joe Biden to go wake him up and tell the president because he is the president, right? Who's the president? Do we have a president?
He stood firm on proof of cheating, and
Mm-hmm.
but then he did go into it doesn't matter. It's old news.
Yeah,
Now, of course,
which
some people
is
are gonna say he's still a sore loser, and they missed the whole old news part. They're not even gonna hear that part.
whatever. They're gonna hear only what they want to hear anyway. That's the whole the whole thing with this.
They only hear what they want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's what I mean. There's a sliver
A
of
very
people
small
who
one.
could be.
But they're
I don't even
important.
know if
though.
they. Yeah, but I don't know. I
I
don't even
don't know
know
if
if they
they
make a
matter or
difference.
not.
Like
I really don't.
it's like 4 people
But
that are like, yeah, man, like I like RFK, but like I don't know, did
I
he
don't
eat a
know.
goat or something?
It's like
I-
it isn't important
No, I'm just
maybe,
playing.
but it is because it's like it could be that one person, it's like on the fence and then they vote and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it changes the whole thing.
No, that's not a
but
real
it's
thing.
never
but-
what I could have. Well, that's what people want
I'm
to
just
picture
playing,
in
but
their
no,
mind.
seriously, there is
But-
probably a sliver of people who, like I said, they're either always independents or whatever. They've come to basically see the character they painted of Trump in their head,
Mhm.
but they haven't like watched him in a while. They've just been busy with life. They
They don't
but they
pay
are
attention to him
feeling
like
the
we
pain from life
do.
right
Yeah.
now. So let's revisit this Trump thing. And he's not that bad, but then I'm not sure. It depends. Like to me, he came off as he had a mean disposition.
Yeah. If I were somebody
but maybe
who
that's what they
was
want.
in the middle and it's really hard for me to like put myself in those shoes because I just fucking can't.
I can because I'm
wear them.
completely unbiased. I'm right in the
But-
middle. I'm an independent. I don't lean either way.
Okay, Kamala. But if I were in the middle, I don't know. Seeing him tonight, I would be like, well, I mean, he made some good points, but he's definitely he's what they say he is, maybe, and they kind of got they're all smiling. I know they are because I have several idiotic family members, and I hope you watch this one day. All of these stupid ass idiots that are already on Facebook, like, oh, this is going so well, and they're commenting back and forth.
The bar wasn't very
and
high.
it's just
for her.
like, all right.
She never did give much detail of anything. And like we were talking about, his attitude was kind of like, I'm not even going to give you detail on most of this stuff. You already know what I do.
Yeah.
I don't have to do that. I'm not the one losing.
So I'm going to, do what I did, but we're going to make it better.
Right.
We're going to do it
even
better. We're going to do more. We're going to make more changes, better ones. We're going to stop this. We're going to stop that. We're going to start this and start that. I mean, all the things that he's said already. And when they're asking him, well, what is your exact plan or, whatever. And he's not giving, specific details because it's like, well, we've got some in the works, but there isn't, a specific plan for this specific thing at this moment.
I'm not president yet.
Yeah.
He didn't deliver that
it's like
right.
The ones that there are specific plans for, he's already said that.
Well, when they went into the thing where he said those people who cheated will be prosecuted.
Oh, yeah.
She hit him with you were fired by 81 million people. And that line went hard, but man, I swear I heard that shit. Like, I swear he said that about somebody before, but maybe not. I don't know. But then, just as I'm starting to feel like he looks like a loser, has a bad temperament, blah, 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 which is, like I said, an overused thing right now. He mentioned how world leaders are afraid, and that they're weak and pathetic, and that Biden hates her.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That was absolutely hilarious. I'm glad that he went into the whole how they treated Biden, how they formed that little coup.
He didn't. Well, I
tossed
guess he
him
didn't
out
have
like a
time,
dog.
but I really wish he would have explained that.
I do too.
Because like those people, like I said, they're kind of in the middle. They're just
They don't
they're
understand.
being told this is the most important election ever. They're like, oh, I
Yeah.
guess I better look at this, and it's like they hear him saying like, you're illegitimate candidate, and they're just kind of like, yeah, of course you're gonna say that.
Right. They
And,
don't understand what it actually,
I don't know. We
means.
keep trying to read what these people are
But-
about, but
It's very
Israel Hamas, like he basically said, a situation wouldn't exist if he was in office. He didn't really give an answer on how he would deal with that.
But
He
they
said
will
that she
deal
hates
with it.
Israel.
Yeah.
But he did talk about how he dealt with the Muslim extremist groups in Iran and everything. Like how
Yeah.
the sanctions made it to where
They
Iran
were
couldn't
broke.
fund anyone; they were completely broke. And then he made the guarantee that before he takes office, he's going to end the Ukraine-Russia war. He basically, called his shot like Babe Ruth and gave the guarantee.
And I believe it.
Like Joe Namath. I believe it too.
I believe it's very possible that he will do that. So
he said it on multiple occasions,
Yeah.
and as much as we sit here and over scrutinize stuff, I'm like, okay, this guy is a businessman. He does have people around him, even if he doesn't listen to him as much as maybe he should sometimes.
He's obviously got a plan for that in place.
I think maybe even his demeanor tonight, there was a plan.
Yeah.
Because like we're saying, it's like, yeah, all the people on the left, they're like, oh, you lost. And our people, we're sitting there watching them, and they're like, oh, he whooped ass or whatever. There's these people in the middle that probably need a certain demeanor, something to appeal to them.
Yeah.
And, they put a lot of study and stuff into this stuff. It could be something psychological, the way he was coming across.
Yeah, either they wanted aggressive, and they liked that, or it was too, and they're like, oh, God. I don't know. It really depends on the person.
I mean, Putin endorsed her.
Yeah.
It was cool to point that out. As much as she sat there and said that, like, basically the only reason Trump can handle that situation is because him and Putin love each other. But then it was a Putin endorsement.
Yeah.
And, they didn't do they didn't do to her, of course, what they did to him. They didn't revisit the idea of, did you meet with Putin or, that stuff. They didn't do that. So that wasn't cool.
She met with Zelensky 5 times and, done the war happen. So.
It's like, do you want, I'll ask you, Danielle, do you want Ukraine to win?
That's a
they said it like a fucking football game,
Stupid question.
And it's not the first time they've asked him like that either.
Such a stupid question.
And he said, I want it to end. I want people to stop dying.
No war. Yeah, like that's gonna be done. We're cutting that off.
Ask Europe for their share, like Trump did before. And he pointed out that they haven't called Putin once.
Yeah.
And that is, from what I've seen, backed up. They haven't even made a real personal effort. And he talks about World War III and where is our president right now? And I mean, that was something that
it was funny, but it was like realistic.
Eric Weinstein brought that up on Piers Morgan today, where he's always been a far left liberal, but it scares the hell out of him because he's like, Russia is our number one nuclear threat.
Yeah.
And we're funding a war against them.
And they're laughing at us.
And we don't have a president.
We're running around with this illegitimate bullshit.
Doesn't that prove to you that the presidential office doesn't mean that much, though?
Yeah, it's like we don't even know who the president actually is. Is there one? Is she it? Is it?
He's not able to function.
Like what?
So
and it's like
not.
He can't function at all anyway, right? So.
Trump did a good job of pointing out the fact that she went in there to negotiate, and 3 days later, I mean, it's simple results, and I think that's what he's trying to stick to.
Like
he
failed.
He could have got more into particulars, but I think that they know that, like, the average voter, like, they'll basically drown this shit out and go to sleep on it. But he's basically like, listen, you went in there, you negotiated. You're right. You were the last one in that room, and then he attacked. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
it went real well.
But she did say you think he's your friend, but he eats you for lunch, and he said she negotiated for peace, got war. She was the emissary. Nice talent they have over there. But she did say that he seems to favor enemies and adore strong men. Oh. The way she said that was actually pretty good. I gotta give it to her.
Yeah, that was a good little dig.
You adore strong men.
I like strong men.
Do you? I'm a weakling. That's why you dislike me.
I wasn't talking about you.
Yeah, I know. He talks about us being ripped off by NATO, and she keeps smiling and shit.
Yeah,
And
her facial expression during that was like just
my issue was like, it's okay to sit there and smirk when you feel like somebody's telling a lie about you. You're like,
be smug, fine.
But hers, yeah, it came across as like kind of like you're telling the truth and no one's gonna believe you. I got away with it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not just because I know that what he's saying is the truth. It's just like I've noticed that she has a couple of different maniacal, like laughing faces, smirking faces, and I don't know. I think that's the one that's just super disingenuous, and I feel like she thinks it is funny that that point will never be proven unless he's elected. Afghanistan, I guess Harris agreed with Biden, and it's good that we're not paying the cost of any conflict over there daily anymore.
Yeah, you know, at the cost of 13 lives of some very young, you know, soldiers that died for absolutely nothing.
I mean, if she would have said that right, I don't know. She didn't say that right. That's all I'm saying. It sounds terrible. This part needs to be taken out of that debate and put everywhere. Harris says they made a good trade, basically. Yeah. I mean, that's how it came across.
Doesn't even acknowledge the lives lost, because she didn't. She did not even acknowledge it. I wish Trump would have gone into it a little bit more than he did, but he was trying to, you know, go through a lot of things in that short amount of time that he had. So I get it, but I do wish that would have been said more.
She tried to do the fallen soldiers lie.
That, yeah, it's another debunked thing.
And, you know, that Trump, when he was really angry, he mentioned that Russia only invaded due to just the weakness that was showed, the incompetence that was shown with Afghanistan.
And I believe that had a factor, yeah.
It probably did.
Right. I mean, you know, I'm sure if I were Putin and I looked at that, I'd be like, oh, wow, all right then.
I guess Trump's okay with whatever race she wants to identify as. She did a good little thing with the using race to divide. Here we are again, going back
gaslighting,
Central Park 5.
You know, doing everything that they do, except, you know, saying that we do it.
But he did confront the CP5. He did actually, but he somehow went into greatest economy.
Yeah.
Basically, whenever it's about like people of color, he goes right into economy.
He answered it though. I mean, he just said, you know, I know that's a touchy thing for a lot of people, you know, especially because of the Netflix documentary. Yeah. So it's, you know,
a lot of people saw that, and Mike O'Keefe thinks that they're guilty from.
I mean, and I have my own thoughts on that. That's neither here nor there. But
we had someone on who had a different opinion on us. We are actually unbiased. We let people tell their side, especially if they were in
they were in
job
in
that time
during that time period.
But I thought he did a good job with that. But he went into this greatest economy thing instead of like clearing up
he should have cleared it up a little bit more, because see, that's the thing, is that these people want and need. They're very simple, and you know, I mean, and all of us kind of are to a degree. We want this simple answer, you know, this blatant answer. And if there's something that you can do that on, you should do it. He didn't do it with the veto of the abortion thing. Which
no, he didn't.
Pissed me off.
I don't know why I didn't write that down. I think I was too mad to even take notes at that time.
He didn't just say that, because, you know, I get where he was going with the fact that, if it's in the States, it'll never have to even come to that, you know, so that's why I did this. But these people,
he feels like he shouldn't have to answer
you know,
that.
He needs to just say it. If it landed on my desk somehow, of course I would veto it, but he didn't say that.
We're not going to have to do that.
So that's
because he feels like
they're going to run to the hills with that.
Oh yeah, I already saw it in a couple of headlines.
That's fine.
I don't know how many times he has to make his stance clear on
that's fine. Let him run with it. Fuck it.
It's you know, he pointed out that the gun thing went bad.
That went very bad. Yes, I was very disappointed.
It sounded, you know, fit into that conspiracy thing.
Yeah, man, tinfoil hat,
QAnon type shit. You know? QAnon is back. That's how it sounded. Even though there's a million clips, like I just shared, of her talking about assault weapons. When they talk about assault weapons, they're basically talking about semi-automatic rifles, which includes damn near anything anyone would want to own. So, but you know, they talk about ACA. I think he did the right thing by saying, like, you know, I did want to repeal it. At the time, we had some ideas on what could make it better. But I don't have a plan yet. I'm not president. That's what you're referring to before. if it's very simple on that and straight to the point. There's nobody out here. I don't. Well, no, I've met a few, but there's not many people out here who actually think ACA was working right. So
Yeah.
like it seemed like she kept trying to, I don't know, appeal to people who loved ACA, and those people don't exist. So
Yeah, I don't
I
know
don't think
anybody that it's done great things for.
no.
I know a lot of people that have paid private insurance
Was I
that
thought
have
he did a good
great
job of
care.
pointing out that like she wants people to lose their private
Yeah,
insurance,
yeah,
and I
which
don't think
is
she refuted that.
she didn't. No.
Climate change. She told the manufacturing jobs lie that he lost all these jobs. They went into tariffs. I love how here he called out Biden and Son giving money to Ukraine and China, and that they're all crooked.
Yeah.
Like I was feeling real negative, like you, for a while there until that. And it just felt like if you were just watching this and you didn't know much about it, or just in passing, and you're kind of picking up on his demeanor, you'd be like, man, this guy's really irritated. It seems like maybe they got him backed in a corner. It seems like he wants to say something, but he can't. It seemed like that was the thing he wanted to say the whole time, but he couldn't say
I
it.
think he had a couple things, and that was definitely at the top of the list.
I mean, it was pretty cool. And then I guess when they went into their closings, she did this whole like future versus past thing, like we want to move into the future. And I mean, she used a lot of the platitudes that I kind of like basically said she would use ahead of time. Like
Yeah.
everybody knew what she was going to say, and like the very vague,
the whole utopian dream bullshit.
yeah, except without any details.
Yeah.
Like good lefties like actually have, but she doesn't even paint a picture. She just says a bunch of words.
Yeah.
But she did an okay job of the whole like we're not going back, we're going forward.
Turn the page.
Yeah, turn the page. I heard that a bunch of times. Lift you up.
Yeah.
Just all these whatever. But she came off as very fake, right? Going into her own body, like making decisions for her own body.
Yeah, I mean,
I had one client, the people. Now that I thought that part was okay. But I heard her say that before. But yeah, the whole like I don't know. Like I didn't think her closing was bad.
No, it wasn't bad.
I thought it was pretty good,
but,
actually. I could just pick up on some like real.
I've done
corny
monologues for auditions before for plays, and it definitely looked like an audition, like with a monologue, a beautifully done monologue.
Yeah, and I mean she was working with acting
like,
coaches and stuff.
So it's like, yeah, she didn't do a bad job at all. Not at all. But again, like I said, I've seen this done in auditions for plays. So
now see,
take that with what you will.
For all the negative, I think Trump actually crushed the closing.
His closing was good.
He was supposed to talk more about what he's gonna do, but he really straight up drove it home. Like, why haven't you done it?
Yeah, why can't you just go do it right now?
You're up here wasting everybody's time saying, I'm going to fix this, I'm going to fix that. You don't even give any details. But meanwhile, why aren't you just doing it? Like, you haven't spent any time doing interviews or debates yet until today. And, like, what do you, do something. So
what have you been doing for the last 3
like you said, people want it simple. Yeah. And I think he simplified that really well. So, I mean, all in all, I wasn't totally happy.
No.
But like I said, I think that he pretty much fulfilled the things that he needed to possibly win. I don't know. Say there's 100,000 people out there maybe that could have been swayed by this thing. I would say like maybe there's like 51,000 that would go his way. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I think. I think that he was standing there. Yes, seemed mean or standoffish or whatever it was, irritated a lot of the time. But it almost looked like, I don't know, a parent or a grandfather standing there while you're lying You know what I'm saying? Like lying about, how you wrecked a car or where you were last night or
Oh, you
whatever.
gotta bring
And you're
that up.
standing there holding the fucking, I don't mean you. I'm
I'm
not a
just
parent
fucking-
of you.
I'm just
Unless you want to do some weird
No,
role
stop
play.
it. Oh my
I don't
God.
know. Then if something were to happen, like we couldn't put an end to it because Trump's going to ban it.
Oh my God.
No, but I'm serious though. Like his temperament was kind of like, all right, are you through? Like we all know this is bullshit.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's really
cut
irritated
the
by
shit. I'm so over it. Like, and I get it. I
And-
mean, we
but-
are too, but
Do you think maybe that was a strategy that it was like, dude, the American people are just irritated with these empty promises and where things are at, and if I just act just so irritated and we've heard it all before type of thing, and you are failing right now.
see, I don't know. I don't
You think she really got under his
I don't
skin?
think that would be. I mean, even if that was a strategy that they discussed, I don't think that would be one
Kamala.
that would have been recommended for him to go out there and do by the team that he was with. I don't think Tulsi Gabbard would have recommended him to do that.
No, I don't think so.
I think that maybe a little bit of that they wanted sprinkled in there. Not as heavy as he had it, and I think maybe something happened before he went out on stage or something that irritated him, or who knows. I mean, anything, or he just got out there and was like, oh my God. I mean, I'm very much the same way. I get to a point where I'm just like,
I'll bumble
fuck.
like that, like if
so I mean I get it, but yeah,
and it's like he knows the media, everything's stacked against him, but
100%.
it almost felt like maybe he came out there and learned an extra thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she'll be allowed to have notes or this or that. I don't know what it was. Could have been anything.
Yeah, or he just.
But he
was
did
fed
seem
up.
off, which is
But,
strange
he
because
what we're used to seeing of him, in live, everything he does is all his live, things now. It wasn't the same,
it seems strange because the one thing that anybody would call him out for in a negative way would be the quote unquote temperament.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one thing that he decided to say fuck it to.
Yeah,
but that is his thing, though, to be honest. You tell him he can't do something or whatever, he's like, screw you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just, all I know is that anybody with a brain that really just simply cares about the like that they're fucking, I don't know, like the cost of things, like the future for their kids. It's just I'm sitting here trying to not say the word everything, like care about everything that makes sense. But I'm saying that anybody who watched this,
you're right. How she kept saying he denounces the Constitution or whatever. What?
What the hell,
That's
dude?
the
You're
biggest,
the party of
that's the
censorship and all
weirdest
that.
thing. I mean, you call us weird. Okay, weirdo. That's the biggest joke I've ever heard.
Yeah,
but
it's just so strange to have her up there saying he wants to defund the police.
oh,
Like he doesn't care about the truth.
yeah, she's the
all these things that are like
cheating
actually
girlfriend that's accusing or accusing the man of cheating because she's cheating.
But she's really the other woman. Like,
Oh, yeah,
always has been. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I just feel like anybody who goes into this, like, okay, let's see what I can get out of this, Now, there are people, like I know one in particular, who actually probably went into this, like, all right, dude, like, I'm ignorant to this. I've just been learning things. I guess it's important to vote. Like, let me watch this. I don't know for sure that they're even giving a damn about the temperament. So maybe we're like overstating that. We're too worried about like what mainstream media says and stuff like that.
We're so used to being,
I mean,
attacked. So
right. I just wonder, are people just kind of, and like you said, they need it real. Put it to him real simply. If he just keeps repeating things that are the biggest issues, will the people actually like appreciate that? Like, in other words, if he's been told that amongst the people that you're going to sway tonight, the border is number one, that's why he keeps spinning back to the border thing.
Could be.
I think it is. I think that that's like his strategy to win, because I think in the other things it's like you already win or lose because they're like ideological. Like they have to
Yeah.
do with like I don't know, like whether it's Second Amendment or it's First Amendment or it's the abortion thing or something like that. But with that border thing, it's a little more complicated because it's not simply like let's ban people from coming here, or you know what I'm
No,
saying? Like
yeah, we don't want to do that.
it's a
We
complex
just,
issue,
you
and that's
know,
why we have the problem. There aren't the proper laws in
no, we
place
want you to come legally like before and become a
and our country
citizen,
does
and
make it like almost impossible to come legally. And I'm not
yeah,
saying that means to come illegally, but I'm saying that it's just we've needed
it's
reform in that area for
possible.
like
It's hard,
decades.
but yeah, they need to fix that. It's not that we don't want people to come here. It's just I don't
Well,
want
before we go, I have to
what.
introduce Simba. Next time, I'll introduce one of the others.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we got 6 cats now. 1 grown one, 5
And we
babies
have
we took in.
freaking tiny babies now under our house.
Yeah, they're like this
Again.
big.
We're
We're
born,
trying to
maybe, I
keep them
guess,
from
but-
the Asian haze because.
Oh God! Heard some moved in down the block. No, I'm just kidding.
In all seriousness, like it is a real issue with the border and people coming in
It's a
who
huge issue.
can't be accounted for,
It's
and
a huge issue with everything that
we don't
I
have the
do,
resources
you
for them.
know?
I don't even. I mean, Trump always goes to the crime and everything. My whole thing is we just ain't got the resources to take on 20 million more people.
It'd be like me taking in, more baby
More
cats. From
That's
under
why
the
I
house.
brought the cat.
It's like
Nah,
I
just
can't,
wanted to bring the cat.
I can't do it. I don't have the resources for it. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't,
So that's what I mean. And like Trump knows that it's very much about that too, but he always goes to the crime.
Yeah.
And I think that's just because you got to pick the one thing and hit home on it, and people are getting personally affected by it.
I mean, and everything that I do with the anti-trafficking community. I mean, it's a huge part of it. Huge part of it.
It is.
So
something needs to be done about it. I think that's why he circles back to that. In all honesty, like Trump's main thing is really keeping the economy afloat by essentially going back and forcing people to pay their share and having us not be anybody's bitch anymore.
Yeah.
Essentially, you're going to pay your fair share at NATO. You're going to pay tariffs if you expect us to do this. If you're using child slave labor, that's the thing. Like these lefties are just kind of like, let's say we did have to pay more tax on stuff, or it was a tiny bit more expensive coming in from China or something like that. Aren't they the people that are all like humanitarian and they're like, we don't want child slave labor?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like we can't let these countries get away with this, but
made by
right.
Japanese 4-year-old.
But they're like, no, don't charge those people more money. My Nikes might be 40 cents. Oh, they're not Chinese, but whatever the hell. Malaysian or whatever. But you get what I'm saying. I just think his main thing is really the economy. Of course, that does tie into the border. But of course, they're going to pick things that are, I don't want to say fear-mongering, because it's true. Because it's actually happening. I only consider fear-mongering when it's something that is really a maybe. Far-fetched. Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like, I feel negative about the whole thing. I feel a little more negative than positive.
I definitely feel more negative than positive.
But it's because it's like our guy, and it's like we want people to see like, no, man, he's really good at this shit. You know what I'm saying? And
we already know. That's the thing, though, is that
we care too much. I think about that.
It boils down to the people that are watching. The MAGAs are the MAGAs. They're not going anywhere. We are not going to change what we think, what we feel, what we we're already there. We know who we're voting for, and that's it. They're And then the lefties are the lefties, and they're either not voting or they're voting for them, and that's what they're doing. That's just, they're going to remain dumb, and I'm just saying it how it is.
For us,
they're going to remain doing what they're going to do.
It's just a content creation, inspiration, and I don't know.
It's just like
fun argument with people.
Yeah, it's just like I would like for him to have been seen in a better light, but then I'm just like, well,
that's a good way to say it.
They'd find something no matter what. So it's
that's
like, even if he would have been perfectly even keeled, they would have found, a million things. So it's just, and
Yeah,
it
that's a
wouldn't
good point.
change
If
the
he
way that they're going to vote.
was friendlier and looser, they would have been
They'd
like,
probably say he's
he's
being
aloof and
fake,
he's,
or
yeah,
he's on drugs, or who knows.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly, like weird
I mean,
shit like that.
there's always
That's
something. I
true.
mean, they accuse us of saying the same things about Kamala. It's just, and some people on the right do that shit. It just is what it is. You want your person to be painted in the best light possible.
Yeah.
But it's not going to change the way any of us who know where we stand are going to vote. So
yeah.
I mean,
just stick to the facts.
it is what it is, and yeah, he could have done better. But are we all gonna not vote for him now? I mean, no.
No, the positive that I will,
So,
I keep repeating this to myself, and it's so basic, but it popped into my head one day and just made me feel better about everything. Is that he's never gonna lose a single MAGA person.
no.
The left has lost a lot of people as of
They
late,
have. I mean, my God, look at the people that are coming to our party from their party.
which is weird that Trump never brought him up.
Yeah, they didn't get brought up at all.
I just feel like there's all these positives he could have brought up.
Yeah.
He focused on pointing out the negatives of what's going on with them, which sometimes the right strategy. Maybe that is the right strategy. Maybe the people who are undecided, it's like they need a little bit of fear. Maybe they're undecided. They're thinking like, maybe it is scary out there, but they have like a real easy little life. I'm picturing an old boy at the beginning of Fight Club, dude, where it's like he's picking out his periwinkle, fucking shit for his couch or whatever. It's like, maybe they need a near life experience, you know what I'm saying? And they just need it to be shown to them mentally.
Right now, they are their khakis. And
they
need to not be their
that's
khakis.
What they need to be. I mean, because in all honesty, I don't know, like it is hard to get a solid plan across to people, but it's very easy to affect them negative. Like a negative emotion is stronger than positive.
Absolutely, and it's easier to bring out.
Yeah, so I don't know. I keep overthinking the strategy and stuff like that. Anybody actually stuck with us this long, let me know what you think. I don't know. I think he won it, but I don't think he won it because of his performance necessarily. I think he won it just based on facts.
Yeah.
And also that those facts and maybe the aggressive way he went about it made her appear to be disingenuous.
Yeah.
But she is anyway, so I can't even really say he did that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
She was well coached.
She was well coached.
She was well coached. She was well rehearsed. So,
But I swear to God, you or I could do better. It's amazing to me that somebody who does this like for a living,
for sure.
I
mean, if you have to practice, for however long, with somebody that's dressed up in a Donald Trump wig and the red tie.
So odd.
That's like, wow, okay, you must really
not
have any confidence in yourself because you're full of shit.
Right.
But
I mean, if you're gonna go get in an argument,
but anyway,
a negotiation with somebody, I think that he showed strength, and if that's what people are looking for, it's gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
I think the straightforwardness, the strength thing. I think that works if that's what people are looking for. If they're looking for temperament that just, I'm just going to come across this way, whether it's real or not.
Then they should probably be on
typical
the left.
Political bullshit. Yeah. Like then they're gonna go that way. Yeah. So I don't know. I thought we'd cover it, say what we thought about it. It was very interesting. Very different than I thought it would be.
Definitely different. I was worried to begin with that somehow it would be spun some type of way, anyways, because that's just what.
But it's kind of like spun by who nowadays. I might consider the source.
Yeah. So
I'll just instead of being so. Yeah, she got herself in a car accident.
Oh jeez, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, give us money.
Yeah, I head-on collision with a tree.
Yeah, she drinks a lot.
Oh my God.
She gets real nervous before she has to drive in the mountains, so she'll have a couple drinks just to like loosen up.
People will probably believe that.
Yeah, I know. See, Kamala does that shit through the whole thing.
I haven't drank in like 5 years.
God, dude, there's another funny one where it was something that he fucking did, or something that she's like the guilty one of, and she just like said it was him, and I'm just like,
yeah,
I don't know. I love that thing about that border bill. That I laughed my ass off at that like this bill was last year. Obviously he's not in office anymore,
right?
And supposedly he put a stop to it. He made some phone calls, right? But meanwhile, she says that nobody respects him.
They're
Like,
all laughing at him.
yeah, they're all
all
laughing
the
at him. They don't do
leaders in
shit that he
countries are
wants them to do.
laughing at him and disparaging
And
him.
all of our congressmen and senators and all this stuff, they don't respect him. They're all on her side now. But yet he can call in the middle of the night and go, "Yo, man, put an end to that border bill."
Yeah, I'm not in the office at all, and I have no pull or sway or whatever at all. And you guys
I mean,
don't
they're
respect
literally
me
like,
and anything. But can you do this?
Like, here's the smoking gun that proves like that we suck really bad. How can we put this on Trump? It's like, I don't have a creative way to put it on Trump. Just say he did it.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, he
People
did that.
believe it,
I mean, seriously, it's such an insult
will.
to anybody that's like voting or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't know if you watched it.
Let us
I'm
know what you
curious
thought.
What you think.
I am genuinely curious because we felt certain ways, and then I watched, the PBD coverage of it.
Yeah, and they all had, pretty different. I mean, some of them were similar to like what we felt, but they had different. Everybody
on the whole,
views
they're a
things
little more.
differently. So it is interesting to see that, and it reminds you, like watching them talk, and all of them weighing in on it, and saying how they each saw it and how they each felt about it. It's like, okay,
Overall,
so,
it seems like, they thought Trump did a little better than we thought he did.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people see
And
things
I'm like,
in a different way, and
totally in an unbiased way they thought he did.
yeah.
I'm just like, wow, okay, well, I mean, maybe I'm just like over, like you said, it's your guy. It's like you're hypercritical.
Yeah, he goes hard for his MAGA crew, and we go hard for our president. So
yeah, and I think he will be. Hopefully he keeps that promise and gets rid of or just ends the Russia-Ukraine war, and hopefully they do another debate.
Yeah, I really hope they do. I don't think they will. I predict that they won't.
Well, they probably feel like that she got a little bit of an edge, and she's just like, I'm not gonna do this again.
She's not gonna risk
like
it.
I don't know how it could help her.
So they're gonna keep putting her out on the trail and doing what she's been doing.
Well, speaking of pudding, the proof is in it, and everybody knows that it sucks more since they've had the office, and like the woke DEI mind virus shit has really fucking exploded. Like since Biden got put out. I mean, think about how much weirder and everything shit has gotten in just a matter of like
is just
3 3/4 years. Like,
I mean, we thought the world was on its head during COVID, but like this is a whole
coming out of it is just space cadet shit, dude.
My God.
But I just want y'all to remember that 2017, 2018, 2019, those years are all good.
Yeah.
There's no crazy wars or anything like that. And, they're not talking about the wars enough. And he keeps trying to nail it home with the nuclear thing and keeps repeating it. But, like, it's not fear-mongering when it's like, no, we're really funding a huge
places that have these.
And we're funding a war. Well, they're helping to fund too, but we like to put money at both sides on this one.
Right.
But we're funding a war against, basically our enemy, and nothing's happening to us yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like we should care more about this. Like we should. This would be a very big concern.
A top.
The Cold War, when nobody was actually fighting, was like a big worry. But I guess when it's actually happening and you can kind of hide behind the people that you're funding, even though you're saying you're funding them out in the open, I guess that's okay. I don't know. But let's pray for Ukraine and Russia and Israel and Palestine.
But I did.
No, I said that because it was like pray for Ukraine, and it's like Trump's answer said, who do you want to win? He's like, no, and I want people to stop dying.
For human beings.
Yeah.
To be smart.
How about we pray
alive.
that it ends? How about we pray that people are just like,
let's stop killing each other.
Just
I hope they stop.
In a sensible way ends. I'm not saying to just back down off your principles, but there's such a thing as, gracefully bowing out, saying like, okay,
like we should have done.
Concede this, I'll concede that. Tired of seeing people die.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's underreported and it's not interesting to people, just like bullets through ears. And I guess that's all I really have to know or say tonight. What about you?
Yeah. That's about it.
Alrighty.
It was an interesting debate, but Trump 2024.
Trump 2024, Gabbard 2028, and Ramaswamy 2032.
There you go.
America ain't gonna last that long.